Alrighty, Roshan. Welcome to the Give and Go podcast.
Yeah, excited.
It's been a minute.
It has, yeah.
Yeah. I hope after this one we can... When is the playoffs? April?
April,
When do they
yeah.
start? April?
Yeah.
Maybe we can sneak one more in before that, and then we should definitely try to do a playoff preview, and that'd be fun. I got a lot of fun ideas for that.
Okay,
So,
yeah. No,
we'll
I'm
see.
excited for this, the rest of the season. All-Star break's over. It's go time. So, it'll be exciting.
I feel like I'm feeling a bit of a lull right now because the moment football season ends, it just makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
And like the NBA is like, we're getting into interesting parts, but I really get my juices going when like the playoffs are close, you know?
Yeah.
So I like, hopefully this will like hype me up going
Yeah.
into all that.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, first thing I wanted to touch on, All-Star thoughts.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
The first two words I wrote down, Kawhi Leonard. Those were my thoughts. Watching that 31-point game that he had against Team World.
In what, like 12
in
minutes or
12
something, right?
minutes. Just some of the like craziest hot streak that you'll see. And what's impressive is that this was actually like tough competition. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't
You could-
against the Wizards.
yeah, well, and I mean, like, compared to previous All-Star games, like, if someone gets 31 points, it's like, okay, they got hot shooting around in the gym, basically.
Literally,
right?
yeah.
This was different. There was actually defense being played. Like, they were picking him up from the three-point line. They weren't just letting him go by. He was just making everything, though.
Yeah.
And then the last shot matched up against Carl Towns, and you just knew, like, oh, it's over for Team World. So,
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard was unbelievable. Haven't seen him like that. Haven't seen him play in an All-Star game in I don't know when, but I haven't seen him like that in a minute. So
Do you remember the Olympics when Kawhi really wanted to play and they like kind of pushed him out because of a combination of a lot of guys, but also the injury potential? I didn't think twice about it, but in hindsight, obviously he might have been a little hurt, so it wasn't ideal, but if we had a healthy Kawhi added to that roster,
yeah,
I just feel like you could have increased the legacy because it was about that generation of guys.
Yeah.
And Kawhi's a little younger, granted, than like Steph and LeBron.
sure.
But it still would have been special to see him on that squad.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely deserves to be there in terms of legacy and stuff. But also, I mean, as a fan of Kawhi Leonard, I don't want him to be out there.
Yeah, fair.
So I'm not mad about it, but no, it definitely. I mean, he's a great addition to any team. Obviously, he's just one of those guys. You talk about like Kevin Durant in the same light, where it's just, you drop him on any squad, and they're gonna be a really good contributor because they can contribute in a lot of ways.
It's funny that you brought them up because they both have more similarities, I think, than just their play on the court. Right?
Yeah.
Off the court controversy. We'll get to that. But I kind of like that you brought up Kawhi to start. Maybe let's jump around and we can go back to the All-Star format. I want to talk a little bit about the Clippers.
Okay.
And here's like the situation that I'll put them in. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Number one, they have somebody who's been playing like one of, if not the best player in the NBA over the last like month. Now, I'm not trying to like be dramatic. Obviously, I don't think he's better than SGA or Jokic or anything right now. But he's been on a tear and he's been carrying this team. But it's such a weird situation because based on their moves, you wouldn't even think that they're playing to win now.
Yeah.
Because they gave away a guy who is better than the guy who they traded for, right? In Garland, especially given the toe issue, right? Like it's a bit more of a long-term play.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I like it because clearly Harden was unhappy. They had to do something. And they got a guy who, if healthy, I love his game. I think he's got a lot of potential as a point guard for the future for them. And obviously losing Harden, it was a position of need. But I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do now because we have this guy who's in Kawhi, who's at an unreal level and who's playing like he wants to be like the best player on a championship team. And then we have this like squad that's like was on a hot streak, but then they gave away their second most important player.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, what are we doing? What's next? Are we just waiting for the aspiration scandal to finish and then decide? Like, what's happening, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a real clash between like when you're managing a team, you're a general manager or owner, and you're kind of steering the ship versus you're one of the guys rowing, and it's just, I feel like it's one of those things where the management has a vision for what's best for the franchise, but then the players and coaches are out here like, yo, we're winning games now. Like, we're actually a good squad, where we started off the year terribly, and then now we're on the super hot streak. We have all this momentum going, and then you trade 2 of our 3 best guys. It takes the wind out of their sails a bit.
Definitely.
And so I think the question is, how much can they keep it going, and how much can Kawhi Leonard like just overcome some of the obstacles created by trading away Zubac and Harden.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely, I think, one of the more interesting questions because we all wrote off the Clippers, and then Ty Lue was like, I want to win this many games, and he was like, okay, whatever, and they're on pace to do that. And they're right now the 10th seed in the West. They would make the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
And so now at a certain point, you got to start talking about them a little bit, just in terms of, okay, nothing crazy, but like if this is a playoff team, let's start talking about them like a playoff team. Whereas before we would always talk about them like a lottery team full of a bunch of washed vets. And Kawhi and Harden just played themselves out of that.
Yeah. 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 I mean, well, it's a definitely interesting case to be sure to see where it kind of goes. Anyways, let's jump back to the All-Star game. One thing that I kind of really enjoyed was, or maybe I should phrase it a different way. I think I would have been pissed off if the Americans just kind of let the game go. Like, we're playing against the world. I have a lot of like pride residual from the Olympics.
Yeah.
When we're in the Olympics, like, I expect us to like compete and do well. And over time, I imagine at some point we're probably going to lose to like Wemby or Giannis or Luka or something. And I'm fine with that, but we better go down fighting.
Yeah.
And when you I don't care that it's the All-Star game. Like, when you go up against the world, like, let's have some pride. And I know it was like Wemby's fault that the Americans actually like played hard, but I don't really care how we got there. I just care that they like got up and stood on business and represented, and it just made me proud.
Yeah.
So it was just a good feeling. And I don't know if this is gonna work every year, but it worked this year. It was awesome.
Yeah. That was honestly, like, maybe my biggest concern actually coming into it is like, yo, you're slapping like USA on your chest, and that means something. Okay, like, it just does. And we talk about it in FIBA and in the Olympics, like, that it means something when you put that. And now we're slapping that on your chest for the All-Star game, which is just historically an unserious game. And I was concerned that, especially, given the talent level on Team World, like, I was concerned that they're not going to take this seriously. Both USA teams are just going to get embarrassed, and we're just going to have to close our eyes because it's whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the All-Star game. It doesn't matter. But I did want it to matter a little bit, and I have a love-hate relationship with the format because I didn't like it for that reason. Now coming out of it, I like it. Same boat, though, with I don't know how sustainable this is. They like to switch it up every couple years. And I think it just so happened that there were enough international guys, even with replacements, it got a little sketchy, like Norm Powell, but there were enough international guys where you had this kind of clear format. And I think that worked for this one, also because SGA and Giannis weren't playing.
True. And Luka and Jokic took the day off.
Right, yeah, exactly. But do I want to keep seeing this? Maybe not. But it worked for this one, and that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely. Especially given the amount of things that like have gone wrong with the All-Star game the last few years.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that we're not just constantly talking about it like it's like some. I get that it's not the most important problem, but it's still a problem. And it's annoying.
It's like the NBA ratings conversation.
Yes.
It's like one of those things that we all talk about all the time, and it's just like, oh, the NBA has fallen. Oh, when I was a kid, it used to be amazing. Just kind of one of those things. It's just not. It's perpetual. It's not fixable. Not a conversation you enjoy having because you just want to enjoy basketball. But they found a way to make it work this year. So credit to them.
Yeah, great. Next major, I guess, NBA happening I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we touched a little bit on the Clippers. I guess I'll leave this one to you because it's like a little painful for me. But speaking of Kawhi and controversy and a guy who's similar to him, we got to talk about the KD files.
Okay. Ooh, not good. Not good.
No. I feel like we could even just. I'll tell you my initial thought as a Rockets fan.
Okay.
Forget the files themselves.
I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about this, to be honest. But
I feel like it's too important to not at least address.
Yeah.
I forget the files themselves. Like, what came out of that, and I guess my big question is where does this leave the Rockets? Because if I was Jabari, for example, I'd be pissed. And I'm definitely happy that the All-Star game gives them a few days away from the media to hopefully talk amongst themselves and sort this out instead of having to talk about it the next day. Mm-hmm. But I mean, without being trying to be mean, I think it's pretty clear that KD is his behavior is just sometimes a little off the rails. And he's just gonna do stuff like this, and he's 37 years old. It's not gonna change. So is this gonna mess with team chemistry? Does this make people just feel a certain way? I mean, we know how important it is to be unified when you're going in to try to win a championship. You saw the teams in the finals last year, right?
Yeah.
And this team just does not remind me of that. And I already kind of had them slightly out of contender tier, especially given the two major injuries they faced this year. But I mean, is there potential for this team just falling apart? What happens next?
Yeah. There's a lot going on here. And to answer the question, yes, I think so. There is a lot of potential for this team to fall off. I was prepared to talk about the Rockets and their on-court fall off, and then this happens, it's just a total implosion. There's a lot of angles that you the first thing is the on-court stuff. So the offense has just fallen off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Losing Steven Adams has really hurt the team identity, the offensive rebounding.
Superpower,
that was their superpower. Şengün has really struggled these last few months. And I think it's just a lack of cohesion. And I think the Rockets were able to overcome some of that through just their sheer size and force. And then they lost a little bit of that. And now, the Rockets' offense is just broken. It's just so broken. I don't see a team playing cohesively on the end, really, to any degree. Their offense is basically just Şengün post-ups and creating. And then
giving it to KD and hope he bails him out.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't see them running plays. I don't see them running sets. I don't see them exploiting some of the unique abilities of their players.
Yeah.
Too often, you just see guys standing in the corner, standing in the wing, not making cuts. I think, I kind of talked about this. I think Amen Thompson is really, really good defensively, but then you just don't need to worry about him when he's on offense. And then Reed Shepherd is just kind of the opposite, where I think he's still working. I'm hopeful for his career, but right now he's not a good defender and he gets picked on too much. And he has good defensive playmaking qualities with deflections and quick and anticipation, things like that. But he's ultimately just too much of a liability on that end to rely on him either.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say his offense is really, really good yet.
He has great
bursts.
Yeah.
And it's much better than last year, and I'm hopeful as far as improvement goes. But I don't expect him to be consistent in like any kind of 7-game series.
Right, yeah.
You know?
And then you got guys that just like Jabari with all his size just stands in the corner and shoots. Tari Eason with all his size. Like, what are we actually using these guys for?
Yeah.
You know, like, to me, one of my things is that, like, if it doesn't matter whether a player is 6'10 or 6'4, you're kind of using them wrong. Like, now obviously not everyone can do everything off ball.
Sure.
But, like, I'm kind of tired of guys just standing around and spacing, and it doesn't even work really with the Rockets because stuff just gets muddled, especially when you have a non-shooter like Amen Thompson on the floor.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter that you have, 35, 37% three-point shooters on the other side of the floor. The defense still has the advantage there. So that's all the on-court stuff. And then you add this to it, and
I mean, this would be the fourth time in a row that KD's decided that he's gonna allow the off-court stuff to affect the on-court product.
Yeah. Not good. I think that the Rockets, I guess fairness to Kevin Durant, the Rockets have a lot more going on than Kevin Durant, which is one of the things that he said.
Yeah.
But for if we want to talk, we can have the Rockets conversation, then we can have the Kevin Durant conversation, and that's something completely different, I think. It's just sad, like, on a personal level.
I know. Especially because it's not a one-time thing. It's not a thing you learn from,
Yeah.
Like, some guys just get defined by the wrong things, and I think that Kevin Durant's all-time place is always going to be with this little asterisk of, like, how many teams he just ruined in some ways.
Yeah, and like, the sad thing is that, like, if I had to, like, define the last, let's say, 9 years of Kevin Durant's and he's played some incredible basketball in those 9 years.
Yeah.
But, like, the definitional interaction of that is the Charles Barkley bus driver stuff. And it just feels like the last, like, ever since he left Golden State, was just continually trying and continually failing to prove that he can be the bus driver. And that's not, like, the comments themselves are a separate discussion.
Sure.
I'm not, like, necessarily putting any kind of validity on that. I'm not commenting on that at all. But, like, he very clearly has been trying to do that, and he has just failed time after time after time.
Yeah. And it's not because he's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also just, like, on a personal level, like, I don't know. You can idolize his game and, like, he's funny and stuff, but Kevin Durant as a person is just, it just doesn't look good right now.
No, I agree. And also it matters more, like, in the NBA. Like, there's not that many players, like, compared to the NFL at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it's a superstar, it's like a capital S superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying we, like, expect them to be some level of morality. That's not what I'm saying at all. But, like, people know you.
Yeah.
And you don't have 50 teammates around you. You have, like, 10.
Yeah.
And when you're, like, the guy, when people, like, in Houston, for example, they brought you in to be, like, hey, we're going to bring in a vet. We're going to bring in, like, a guy who, like, just been there and done it. And you're, like, the off-court problem.
Yeah.
It's like, my guy, like, what are you doing, you know?
Well, it's like a 37-year-old man with, like, the personality of, like, an immature 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Who's, like, responds to all the haters.
Yeah.
And it's funny until it's not, you know?
Right, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie. But, like...
It depends on whose team you're a fan of.
Yeah.
It's still funny.
Right. It's funny, but you also, like, you feel sad for, I don't know, the Rockets, I guess, because I thought they were really interesting to start the year.
Yeah.
And they really proved to be I think before the season, we kind of thought, like, Thunder, Nuggets, Rockets, and those were kind of the big three of the West.
Yeah.
And now it's pretty clearly, I would say, Thunder, Spurs, and then kind of Nuggets.
Yeah.
And the Rockets are just...
Tier 2, definitely.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly.
Tier 3, maybe. Like, they were interesting, and they had something, and they made it work, and now it's just a total implosion.
Yeah. I think they're still going to be annoying out for anyone in the playoffs, but I can't in good conscience pick him over any of the like real contenders, which hurts me. I was excited this year. I was really excited.
Yeah.
And the guys are still young. Like, we'll see, but man, I mean, they already signed, like, KD's like not going anywhere anytime soon, probably.
You never know.
Yeah, true. But there's just it's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, Bob.
Yeah. And this, like, it just does kind of feel like this was the team for the Rockets, like,
and for KD.
And for KD, yeah, for sure, for both of them. Like, the timeline of both of these entities, I guess. Like, with the Rockets, like, where do you go after this season? You still have a bunch of guys, but, like, do you just hope for a leap for Amen Thompson or Reed Shepherd or Jabari Smith? Like,
it'd be about Thompson and Şengün, and yes, probably hoping from something from Reed. I don't know if Jabari's ceiling is like an on-ball creator.
Yeah, it's just like, it could happen, but it's always kind of weird when you're just like waiting on these young guys to develop.
Yeah,
and like, for example, for Amen Thompson, like, I just don't have an indication that he'll ever really be good on offense. Like, why would I believe that? You can't just assume that, oh, because he's young, he's like 21 or whatever. Like, because he's young, he's going to develop, he's going to grow. Some guys just are what they are, and you know, I hope that.
I feel about Jabari too.
Yeah,
great shooter.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, he's so tall, he got so much potential. It's like he just can't dribble his way out of a problem.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Right, and that like hampers your ability to do things. So like, when you look at potential, it's not just like, oh, here's a young guy who's contributing now, and he has obvious deficiencies to his game, and those things will get covered up. But it's like, Amen Thompson has never been known for his offense on any level at all.
Especially the shooting.
Right, especially the I mean, obviously, like, if you go back to like high school, yeah, he's dunking on dudes and stuff like that. We're talking like on any like serious level.
Yeah,
like, he's never been known for that stuff. He's not even all that great of a finisher, which is kind of surprising given his athleticism and stuff. But I don't know, like, the cutting is kind of his best attribute. But when you don't have to respect the shot at all, it just, you don't really. I mean, the offensive rebounding too, but like, those only go so much.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do wish that they get more creative with how they use him. Like, obviously his cutting is so good, right?
Yeah.
But I heard this take, like, what if you, like, because he's so strong and tall, what if you, like, tried to, like, use him to, like, post up? Like, nobody's respecting his shot anyways. And tried to do something with that, and then surrounded him with some shooters, you know what I mean? And then at least the Eason and Jabari in the corners makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because if you have Eason and Jabari in the corner and the men, like, the center is just, like, parked under the rim for whoever's coming.
Yeah.
And you can sit out on the shooters, you know?
Yeah.
So I wish they would try that.
Just something more creative. Like, it doesn't have to be like Amen Thompson post up game, because like, I mean, I don't know, but like, it's something more creative, you know, versus like, I just don't. It's tough when a guy, like, I think he's really, as weird as it sounds, he is best on ball because of his ability to get to the rim. And he's not, like, he can make decent reads. Like, he's not, like, a point guard or anything, but he can make decent reads. He can, you know,
he
like,
can suffice to somebody who can bring the ball up.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish that, like, they would do more stuff with that. Even, like, with Reed Shepherd, like, here's a guy who can be, like, here's a guy who can be, like, a movement shooter type, like, really adds an element that isn't there with the Rock, which is why I was excited about him before the season. And now, like, you don't actually see all that much. Like, when do you see them running actions for Reed Shepherd?
Yeah.
Like, when you don't see them running around,
but it's certainly not
much.
like something they're like committing to building their offense around.
Yeah, the point, the function of Reed Shepherd is just to space the floor.
Yeah,
but it's just kind of uncreative, you know. And so I wish their defense is still good, but like, I wish they would do more things to maximize their pieces on offense.
Yeah. Gotta agree. Cool. All right, let's move on. Wow, we took a minute on that one. I didn't anticipate it, but
we did.
Need
I
to
think it was
happen.
good stuff, though. Yeah,
especially because like you're talking about the narrative of the season. Like, this team was supposed to be like a rock, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's important. Okay. Next up, something I wanted to just touch on. We don't have to spend too much time on it, because it's like all anybody's talking about these days, and it isn't even that interesting to me. Is tanking, the conversation around tanking.
Yes, yeah.
So I have one or two notes, and it's mostly just like being annoyed with the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA has a problem. Their TV partners spent a ton of money to get these NBA games. So they need these games to be good. The problem is they have, I'll just say it from my perspective. There's too many games. There's too many games, and people don't need to care about winning each game. So if you rest a guy, or if you need a tank, or do whatever, and the NBA is trying to get everyone to care, and trying to get everyone to what can we do to stop tanking? What can we do to stop tanking? I don't know, maybe cut out some games and make it all better for everyone. You'd cut out the injury total. I don't want to see the Rockets play the Spurs 7 times. Well, this season maybe, but in general, divisional games there's so many, and some of them are so terrible. And it's just too much. And I really wish that the NBA and Adam Silver would put their money where their mouth is and say, we want the quality of our games to be better. And if you're going to want quality to be better, you have to reduce the quantity. And until they do that, I think that it's you're hamstringing yourself.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely a proponent of shortening the season. I don't think that would fix it.
I don't think it would fix all the problem.
I don't think it would really fix much at all.
You don't think so?
No. If you're the Pacers and you play 14 games in the season, are you trying to win them or are you trying to lose them?
But if you even get out to a hotter start, then even the time it would take to tank, you would have to decide super early in the season. Because if you miss a few games, you're suddenly it's we're halfway through the season or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well,
even from that perspective, the quality of the games would be better.
Sure. Okay, and 14 is a shot. 14.
Sure. You would just,
but yeah, right. Even if you shrink it down pretty 50. I think 50 is a reasonable amount, and that's a pretty significant.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm saying.
Right. I'm just saying hypothetically, what if you're a good team and you get off to a bad start and you're all right, well let's tank for AJ DeBonza, that's still reasonable. And a team like the Pacers where obviously Halliburton was hurt, but then they had a bunch of injuries to start the year too.
Yeah, tons.
And so what do you do to get them to be competitive? And I think the problem is just that it's an unsolvable math equation. You're playing 5 guys on the floor at a time, and you're playing so many games, which, like it or not, you're never going to get the NBA to reduce down to an NFL type sample.
No, nor should they. Basketball's a different game.
Right, it's a different game, and I don't think they have to. I don't think they ever will. I don't think it's even worth talking about it in that terms. If you want to shorten the season, it's never going to be to the degree where every single game matters. It's just not.
Yeah.
So if you have the NBA is a sport where if you land the guy, Cooper Flag, Victor Wembanyama, that changes the entire course of your franchise.
In a way that it's not true for the NFL.
Yeah,
or
it
any
is.
Other sport, really.
The only thing that is kind of comparable is getting a franchise QB, and that it's still not cakewalk at that point. But that's the allure. That's the promise.
Sure.
But in the NBA,
but it's even harder. Getting if you have a top pick.
Yeah.
Just because you have a chance at a quarterback doesn't mean he's going to be that good.
Yeah.
Versus the NBA, the hit rate's a lot higher.
Yeah, at the top, it definitely feels if we're talking obviously there are some draft classes that are just not that good. But if we're talking a guy that as hyped as Cooper Flag, as hyped as Wembanyama,
it's hard to miss those.
Yeah, it's hard to.
But that's not true about Trevor Lawrence or you can miss sometimes.
There are
Leaf, I don't know.
Yeah, there are busts in the NFL, and I think quarterbacking itself is such a difficult position to evaluate.
Yeah,
whereas you're not going to get teams to care more about winning an individual game than increasing their chances for the next star, the next superstar.
So what do you think about tanking then? What would be your thoughts?
I don't know if you saw Mark Cuban's comments on it.
I was going to talk about this.
Okay, yeah.
This was the other note I had. Okay,
yeah.
Take it away.
I think they make a ton of sense. And I think it's kind of what he was saying. Like, the NBA, to a degree, should embrace tanking. Because that's kind of what I talked about with how it's an unsolvable math equation. But, like, if you're a fan of the team, right? Like, I, as a Pacers fan...
are thrilled.
Yeah, I'm thrilled, right? I'm not going to, like, say I want my team to lose, because, like, it just never... I've always had a problem with saying stuff like that. But I want my team to lose, right?
No, like fewer words, or however you want to phrase it.
So why are we acting like this is, like, some travesty when, like, this is also what the fans want too, because they're just responding to incentives.
Yes.
So if I would rather get the next superstar running mate to Tyrese Halliburton for our next championship run, rather than win some meaningless games against the Wizards in April, like, you know, why should I not think that?
No, you're right.
And it's they're just catering to the fans who are going to the games, or
I think they're catering to their
betting
partners.
on the games.
Yeah, this is true.
But and we can have that conversation a little later. But
Off-season.
yeah. But they're just catering to those fans, which, like, yeah, you want the product to still be good, but does the product have to be like playoff level basketball every single game?
Yeah.
Does every team have to, like, be fully committed to winning? And it sounds gross saying that, honestly, because, like, as a fan of the sport, you want to say yes.
Yes. But the NBA is more complicated than that.
Yeah.
It is more complicated
It
than
is.
that. And
It
we have a
is.
history of this.
It is.
know?
And I just, like, because there's no real easy solution, and I think a lot of the solutions being thrown around are just terrible. Like, I think you just kind of have to embrace it, which is what we've always done, really.
Yeah. It's just getting worse. But that's because teams are getting smarter.
It's been bad this year. I mean, the Thunder had some bad years.
No, that's true. But I don't think we've seen a year where, like, 9 teams felt like they were, like, abjectly.
Yeah.
Besides, like, the Kings, because they just.
Yeah, the Kings are just bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I agree with that.
Wait, but I do want to, like, highlight your comment. I, like, actually really like what you're saying. And this is where I go back to, like, the TV partner thing. Because I think the NBA thinks it's their job to make sure that each game is quality, the way that the NFL is.
Yeah.
And you said it. You said, first off, unless you're going to reduce your season to, like, the point that each game actually matters.
Yeah.
Like, the difference between winning a game and another game is, like, point something on the win percentage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And it's better to, like, have your guys healthy and stuff like that going into the next season. But also, fans are smart. Like, we aren't Amazon Prime, who is trying to, like, make oodles of money off of a game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, good for them. That makes sense. And the NBA gets paid because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you said it. Like, we want our teams to be good and have the best players.
Yeah.
Not to win a January 12th game against the Bulls.
Yeah.
It does not matter to us.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, and fans know that. Like, even, do you remember the Mavericks, speaking of Cuban, when the Mavericks lost a game or two, like, shamelessly, they sat Luka before they were in the play-in, and they got Derek Lively out of it.
Yes, yeah.
Everyone was like, man, Mavericks, they whatever.
Yeah.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Yeah.
And I bet you Mavericks fans were thrilled that they got a, like, really young, really athletic, really fun center that they could root for, now he's been injured for a while, but they can root for the next, conceivably, like, 10 years.
Yeah. Well, and if Luka had stayed there, like, perfect perfect running mate to Luka, and obviously it got torn apart, but, like, that was perfect, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. I understand the NBA saying that they want the televised games to be competitive, and to be honest, like, I understand that to a degree. Here's the thing, though, is that it's not even really about that, and this is where we can have that conversation about what's really the underlying motives here. But it's not the TV partners per se, because what they fined teams for, the Jazz and the Pacers, was, I believe it was the game against each other.
It was, yeah.
That was not televised.
No,
I mean,
it wasn't.
And so it's really not a question.
We know about the game because they're reporting afterwards that they fined them.
Yeah. And it's really not about the games that are we want the games that are televised to be competitive, because I understand that to a degree. But like, I don't need Jazz versus Pacers to be competitive. Those are the games that you just kind of throw on League Pass. It's like, oh, I got nothing going on tonight.
Yeah.
My plans with my friends fell through.
My team's playing, sure.
Right, yeah.
Mostly rooting for them to lose in your case, probably.
Yeah. But like, do those games need to be competitive? No, they don't. Yeah. They absolutely don't. There's no reason from a watchability standpoint, from a league standpoint, that needs to be our priority as a league is prioritizing that Jazz versus Pacers in March or in February, January, whatever it is a competitive game. That's absurd. The real underlying thing is the betting companies. Because it's messing up their over-unders, it's messing up all the bets on that game because the Jazz are sitting their starters for an entire fourth quarters and aren't telling anyone they're going to do that.
Because they're playing the first three.
Right.
Injured.
That messes with a lot of that stuff. I will say that is a terrible reason to make decisions. It's obviously not in the best interest of the league. And I'll say, like, as a person who, like, my personal philosophy, I'm not like super anti this stuff, but the point of like betting markets in general is to predict the outcome. And so if you're not factoring into your calculus that the Jazz are tanking and they're not going to play Lauri Markkanen for the fourth quarter, that's on you.
Yeah.
You know, but instead these gambling companies are crying foul and want the league to change the product for them. No, you change your calculus for the league. Like you're smart. You figure it out. It's your money on the line. You figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely. We've already seen so much damage, to be honest. And again, this is someone who is not entirely opposed to the whole sports gambling thing, but like we've already seen so much damage happen to competitive sports in general. And this is just another one of those things where it's like, how long will this go? Because I think that some of the proposals being thrown around would ruin the league. I don't think getting rid of the draft is a good idea. I mean, to be honest, like I haven't even like fully conceptualized how that would really work. At a bare minimum, like it would be complete malpractice to institute that within the next 8 years because there are picks being traded that are valuable. Like teams were targeting the 2027 Lakers pick right a couple years ago. The 2029
Nets
Lakers
just
pick.
Got the 2032 Nuggets pick, right?
Right.
The Cam Johnson trade, for example.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Like it's supposedly the Pacers got a top 4 pick. The Clippers have our unprotected 2031, right?
These are far out.
These picks are far out. There are middle schoolers right now who will be drafted in some of those picks being traded. And if the league were to do anything drastic, any time before that, that would just total malpractice. Like there is no way that is fair at all to any of these teams.
I hope that's something they're not even considering.
I really hope so, but there has just been so much media buzz around it.
There has been a lot of media buzz.
Like reports of Adam Silver considering it. I think they're all like just kind of throwing out feelers maybe, but it does feel like a significant tone shift that enough is enough with the tanking stuff and we're going to really try to crack down on it. But if we're thinking actually realistically, you cannot do that until like, you know, there's a limit when how many picks can be traded, how far off in the future. Right? That's when you can do anything. That's when you can consider doing anything. You can't address the problem until then.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into our next section. It's hilarious that you wanted to talk about the Cuban Post too.
yeah. I mean,
it's not often that I say like let's like Mark Cuban here.
Yeah, right. But it was well thought out, and I think that like it just laid the groundwork pretty good. Because if you just say anti-tanking, like who wants to be pro-tanking, right? But it's really, when you think about it carefully and soberly, and it's kind of provocative to say the NBA should embrace tanking, but I thought his reasoning was pretty well thought out there.
Yeah,
so.
No, that you're absolutely right. So yeah. All right, let's jump into our next section. So we're not in the playoff window yet. Mm-hmm. But what I have noticed repeatedly, and there's a few good examples, maybe like the Pacers last year, the Mavericks a few years ago, that Luka finals run.
Yeah.
You can't throw out the entire regular season, but post All-Star break stats, to me, are... I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say this. They're honestly more important than the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because the NBA is a catch fire league, and the NBA is about getting hot at the right time, and it's about peaking. And if you are a combination of healthy and like in sync with your guys and coordinated, this is when like we see real contenders come out. And I think that all sorts of things have adjusted to like realize it's like betting markets change based on who's doing really well after the All-Star break. So going into this next most critical section of the regular season, I just wanted to have a discussion about teams maybe that aren't there yet, but we could be talking about like last year's Pacers or like a real potential contender.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
And we can even go the other way. Like if you have teams that you're like, this is not going to be real. Like the Cavs last year. The post All-Star break stats were like kind of rough.
Yeah.
And I think that smart observers would had like a red flag on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's always kind of tough. I mean, I actually, when I was like looking at it, I was like, boy, this is tougher than I thought. Because it kind of feels like we've watched enough basketball where we kind of know where these teams stand, and it's tough to really be surprised by anyone. I feel bad about talking about this team because we've talked about them a decent amount, and they've just kind of disappointed me the entire year. But I have a little bit of hope for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Just a little bit. It's hanging on by a thread. But they've played like decent basketball heading into the All-Star break. You hope that momentum can carry through. They were like slipping into the play-in tournament before, and now they're back up to being the 4 seed. But the important thing is, number one, the vibes are really good. I think after the Harden trade.
Yep.
It just feels like the team has embraced it in a way that I'm not even sure that I anticipated it. But Donovan Mitchell has been really glowing about Harden. Harden looks like he's ready to win. He's ready to compete, and the fit is good. The fit's good.
Yeah. They needed that facilitator time.
They really did. They really did. The other thing is that their strength of schedule is 26th hardest in the league.
Oh, I did not know that.
So you have like, here's a team that from a vibe standpoint, they just made a trade, they're feeling good, they're ready to like play hard and win. And then they have the opportunity to do that, to build momentum going into the playoffs. I think that could be a team to watch. And I haven't seen it this year, and I hoped I would see it before the year, before the year I talked about it, and I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But this might be the moment where it clicks.
You know what's hilarious? I like hear everything that you're saying, and I think you're making really good points. But I actually wanted to talk about them for the opposite reason.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
All right.
But my like thought, which is funny because we usually like are pretty in sync about this stuff. But I think the reason why we're like having opposite takes here is my like whole bit with that was they could be a really great end of the regular season team.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about like we already see it like kind of clicking, but where have I seen this story before? Anytime Harden like goes to a team, I remember when he went to the Nets, when he went to the Sixers, like oh my goodness, this like started this year with the Clippers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like this is like the like pantheon of current NBA players who suck you in and then just disappoint you.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, I hate to say it, he's had some amazing playoff moments, but he's also shrunken moments. Evan Mobley is like a playoff shrinker, and James Harden is like the poster boy for not being able to get it done when it counts. Yeah. So I wanted to like almost talk about them as like a, hey, like don't trust your eyes potentially team.
Yeah.
And I'll be like really happy for them if I'm wrong, but I'm not putting any money on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's like just something I wanted to like highlight as far as the Cavs go.
Yeah, I see your points, and I think they're great points. I like when you started talking, I just remembered the Bill Simmons thing that went
was
viral.
So funny,
hilarious, and it's like I kind of forgot about that when I was like preparing, and then now it's like man, I have to argue against that. That's like not great. Which is, again, I preface this by saying I don't feel great about it because they're a team that has continually disappointed me.
Yeah.
And they're full of players who have continually disappointed me.
On different teams.
Right, on different teams. But I see the ingredients. I don't know. It makes me hesitant to bet on it in any way, but I just think they could surprise me. They could surprise me.
And I think one thing that you and I are both aligned on is I think we feel strongly about the fact that this team's going to close the regular season strong. Mm-hmm. They're going to look good going into the playoffs. Yeah. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. It's just like, what did they do?
Yeah. Are they going to make the finals? Yeah. Like, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The first team that I wanted to talk about was a team that we've talked about only a little bit, to be honest, on this podcast, but they're exciting. And it's the Charlotte Hornets. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a gimme. Like, I'm not trying to be fancy here. They've been like the hottest team in the league for like a while. Yeah. And it looks like real, and like their guys are syncing together. So this is no one's gonna be surprised by this take. Mm-hmm. But more the question that I wanted to pose to you is, if the Hornets, who are currently in the play-in kind of range, if they get out of the play-in or even sneak into the 6th seed, I haven't checked exactly where they are. Actually, I can check right now. The Hornets are currently 26 and 29. The Heat above them, they're in the 9th spot, 26 and 29. The 6th seed is the Sixers at 30 and 24. So that doesn't look like it's even going to be possible. It's like a 5-game back. It's potential. Let's say
there's enough time. I think the Sixers are playing good ball, but we can entertain the hypothetical.
Sure. Let's say they land somewhere 6 through 8 when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that this team, young as they are, could pose an upset to one of the top seeds?
It's something that like I really wrestled with it because my perception of the Hornets, like I was pretty far off, I think, on reality with them, and I'm just kind of adjusting to that.
Still trying to get it in focus.
Right. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe that that this lineup is their starting lineup is one of the best lineups in basketball.
This LaMelo Ball.
Can't believe that LaMelo Ball is winning games.
Yeah. Which I don't want to credit him too much.
Right. He's still one of the most volatile players in the league.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I would say I wouldn't bet money on it. But when you talk about a team that you don't want to face necessarily, they're definitely a team that comes to mind because they got the firepower and they play together in a way that I didn't think a LaMelo Ball team could, with the way that they play together. And Ball makes his teammates better. Like he really, as much as you're like, oh, I wish he were more efficient. I wish he didn't have the ball as much. I wish he could do more things off ball. It's like, look at the offensive numbers on and off. Like they're actually, they are a lot better with him on the floor.
Yeah.
The thing is just, here's why I'm not jumping fully on board, is that he's still one of the most volatile players in the league.
For sure,
I don't think that translates to playoff basketball all that well.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a team that has time to game plan for him and what they do. Mm-hmm. They're so young. I don't feel like they're ready yet for playoff basketball, but it would not shock me if they had a first round upset.
Yeah.
I would say it would shock me if they had a deep run, if they pulled it off multiple times in a row, because again, the volatile nature of that team makes me think that they can't string it together for a super long time. Mm-hmm. But if they do it for a series, it wouldn't shock me. I'm just not going to bet on it.
Sure. Yeah. But I think that we both agree that they're one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Especially, they're 9-1 this last 10.
Yeah, and they, what was that stat about? They had like the highest plus minus in a month in NBA history.
Holy
in
moly.
January, I think. Like I saw that and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because they were just blowing out teams by 30 points, 40 points.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
The shot making especially of. I mean, LaMelo's got the flashy
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah.
the shot making of Knippel
Yeah.
combined with Brandon Miller,
Yeah,
I don't even
Brandon
know
Miller.
who to compare Brandon Miller to. He's not nearly as like athletic or whatever as like whatever KD back in the day. He doesn't have the finishing of Kyrie, but like his efficiency numbers. There are some nights where I watch him. Not that I've watched a ton of Hornets games this year.
Yeah.
But it just feels like he cannot miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's just like a. He's just like a I don't know, hooper. Like
He's just a hooper.
Like he is super athletic, and he is a great shooter, and he can get to his spots really well. I mean, I'm really excited to see where he goes. I don't have a specific comp in mind right now, but like,
You remember Rashard Lewis?
not well enough to think.
Or even like do you remember like young Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
Or even like Paul George sometimes. It's like when it's on, it's like
Yeah. You know.
it's just a beautiful game.
I don't know
You
why I
know?
didn't think of Paul George. That's his idol too. I don't know
It
why I
is,
didn't
yeah.
think
Oh,
of
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I made like a
Yeah.
subconscious connection.
Yeah. I really should have made that comp. I mean, there's definitely comps for it.
For sure.
And I think
level
PG's
of efficiency.
I think
is like-
PG's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But love Brandon Miller. Con Knippel's been amazing. LaMelo Ball has been the guy they needed. Diabate,
Oh my gosh.
putting him in
Yeah.
the starting lineup has been just wow.
Yeah.
So,
Charles Lee's really made magic out of something. You know?
yeah.
So.
So that big fan of what they've done, and it's been one of the biggest surprises of the season for me. Also because of how late that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I had them in my notes, also second, and I put in parentheses cheating because like they're so hot right now. The question is just like, can they keep going?
Mm.
But there's no question that they can do it. It's just a question of how long is it going to go and how far does it go.
And when the lights get bright, it's
Yeah.
different, you know. So and they're really young, but I'm excited. So okay, who's your next team?
My next team
Besides the
is
Hornets, I guess.
my next team. This is an interesting one because I don't know how hot you can get when you're already one of the best teams in the NBA. But I put it more as a question, and it's like, can the Spurs catch the Thunder?
How close are they?
It's not inconceivable.
They're just 3 games back.
Yeah.
I mean, especially considering the pace the Thunder were on versus where they are now.
Right. I mean, the Thunder.
Oh, and they're
with the
missing so many guys.
with the SGA injury, like I
Yeah.
think that really opens the door. I think right now, I'm pretty sure the betting markets still have the Thunder as the favorite, but it's close. And now the Spurs are like getting healthy, and you think after the All-Star break they're ready to go. They're ready to like put it all together. They've been playing great ball. Wemby's been playing great ball. I think they're right now on like a 6-game winning streak or something like that. So so I have them as a team that like there's only so much you can say about getting hot because they're already really good, but if they get the number 1 seed, that would be quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, especially at this. Like, I don't think not anyone. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But most people didn't think that they'd be like that level of contender already.
Yeah, I didn't think that the depth would be there. I didn't think that their like guard lineups, their 3-guard lineup, would be this good.
Yeah.
I talked about this before the season.
Yeah, I remember.
But I still like kind of sold them short a little bit because I was like, their ceiling is like a tough out in the playoffs, and I think it's clear that that's not their ceiling.
No.
I didn't expect I didn't expect such high level guard play from Castle Vassell Harper.
Yeah.
And like they've just been the team where even when Wemby is on a minutes restriction or doesn't play that much, they can still go toe to toe with anyone.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see that coming at all.
I like that you highlighted that because obviously the first place that anyone should think is Wemby, right?
Yeah.
But he's been like better than expected, but he's also like we already thought he was going to be one of the top few players in the NBA.
Yep.
But the leap that like Castle's made has been. I mean, I'm watching him, and I feel like he can block up anybody.
Yeah.
He can score with the best of them, and obviously it's still a little bit inconsistent. He's young, you know.
Yeah.
But holy smokes, it's reminding me of like the Spurs' heyday when they just paired a big man with like an unreal guard, and these two look like they like want to add to that legacy. You know, they really want it.
Yep. Yeah.
So, All right. So the next team that I wanted to talk about was kind of in a worried way.
Okay.
The entire year, from the beginning of the year, even to now, I have had the Nuggets as a real sleeper to take down the Thunder to win the championship. I really think that they can do it. They're so deep. They added so many good pieces,
Yeah.
But I think that they need to be concerned. The Gordon hamstring thing has been a thing for too long. It's happened too many times to make me think that he's going to make it through a playoff run.
Yeah.
You combine that with every time they get a guy, they lose a guy, right? I mean, Peyton Watson's out until probably early March.
Yeah.
Christian Braun has been in and out of the lineup. Jokic, the ultimate Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
Has been out, and when he came back, he's looked a little rusty. I don't think I've ever said that about Jokic, but he clearly needed some time to adjust, And outside of Jamal Murray, I don't think they've had a whole lot of consistently awesome production.
Yeah.
Either from players being hot and cold like Julian Strawther, or just out of the lineup like all the guys you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And as we talked about when we were setting the stage for this section, is going into the playoffs, it's important to be on the same page and hot and consistent and having built all that chemistry. Yeah. Now, I still believe last year, they didn't look very good going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Jokic is still Jokic. They're going to be a tough out. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
But when you have championship aspirations, it really matters. Every little bit really matters. The liking each other.
Yeah.
The chemistry, know? Just all these different things that I don't need to harp on too much. But if I were the Nuggets, I would be worried.
No, I totally agree. And I think the Nuggets were the team that we all were oh, watch out, because the ceiling on this team is really high. Mm-hmm. They added a lot of firepower and stuff. But yeah, injuries have just kind of been the story of the season. It's just been weird. They've been they haven't been bad, but it's they're clearly, to me, just in terms of play right now, like I referenced earlier, they are a level below the Thunder and the Spurs.
I agree.
In my mind. And I think they could get there, but it's also man, it's February.
It's late.
I'm kind of tired of saying they can get there. I kind of want to see it now. I can say that I've seen this team be good in different ways, and that's a pretty good compliment. Obviously, we've seen Jokic have good games. We've seen Jamal Murray make his first All-Star game. He's been a really good player throughout. But I think they've also had really good revelations, like Peyton Watson. When Jokic had that time missing, we've seen guys step up in his absence. I think Peyton Watson has just been one of my favorite players to watch.
Out of nowhere, too.
I always liked him, but I just didn't expect this big of a leap this soon. So he's one of the guys. Valanciunas, I think, has been a very serviceable big, which is just something that they've needed for such a long time.
Wasn't there a stat, for the first time in his career, when Jokic goes off the floor, they're positive? And
yeah. Which finally, so I still see reasons on paper, theoretically, for hope. It's just man, I really need to see it now, and they gotta get healthy. You gotta get healthy. You gotta play some kind of stretch of high level basketball going into the playoffs. And so I completely agree with you. I think they're a great pick actually for a team that could get hot for those reasons, but also they're still struggling with some of those injuries. So
Yep. So eyes on the Nuggets.
Yeah.
All right, who's your next team?
My next team, we kind of talked about. So I could go two right now.
Sure.
The first one we already kind of talked about, and it was more of a question of the Clippers, because I already kind of talked about it before, with how they were really hot, kind of like the Hornets. We were thinking of two of the most surprising hot teams in the league. You'd say Clippers and Hornets. Then they traded away two of the three best players. Can they continue that down the stretch? And I don't know. I think it's an interesting story. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think the Hornets. I definitely have an easier time picturing them winning winning a playoff series than I do the Clippers.
Mm.
But
Yes.
both of our dogs. Yeah.
I know. It's like they like coordinated.
Yeah.
They
It's
both like
great.
jumped up together.
Yeah. No. All right. Oh, she just unplugged my laptop.
Oh god.
It's okay. Anyways, I already fed them. I don't know what they're doing,
I
but
just decided they wanted to
just
pitch.
go on, crap. Yeah. Like, all right. I'm tired of hearing you guys yapping. Anyways, Lila. Now they would start fighting.
I know for sure.
Hopefully
Probably
they're
knock
not-
over the tripod.
Knock out the tripod.
For sure.
As soon as they walked in, I was nervous about that. I don't know what's over this dog. Anyways, yeah, the Clippers, I think, interested to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
And I mean, Garland's not bad. I don't know what his injury situation's like, but not bad.
He's a great. I mean, when he's healthy, he's a great player.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, anyways, enough about them. The other team that I had was the Sixers, and that's because this team has really been fascinating. The Rock has been Tyrese Maxey, who, by the way, is playing the most minutes in the league.
Really?
Yeah. He's playing 38.6 a game.
Holy moly! That's so many minutes.
I don't think he hasn't missed a game yet. So
They
just
needed every minute of it too.
yeah. So Tyrese Maxey has been the Rock, the guy, the superstar, and then the pieces around him have kind of come and gone. So in the beginning of the season, real hot flash from VJ Edgecombe. Kind of hasn't sustained down the stretch. I think there's still he's not super efficient. In fact, he's kind of really inefficient. But he's still a guy.
Yeah.
But then, as he's gone down, you look at Joel Embiid, who has really been one of the most underrated good storylines of the league, where I can say, I thought he should have retired. I was like, this guy's cooked, this guy's done. He obviously cannot even jump in games. He's not even trying.
Yeah.
He looks like me when I'm scared of my calf seizing up and stuff when I don't drink water. Like that's what he was looking at out there. That's not professional basketball level. But then now he's taken on this kind of he's been scoring, he's been contributing, he's been playing big minutes. His efficiency's off the charts, and kind of earning his keep, I think, because I remember when we talked about this earlier, and these were we talked about this earlier, and we were talking about how the Sixers might be something, and I was like, they're a really good team right now. But also, they're dumping $100 million of salary into two guys who don't do anything.
And speaking of not doing anything, one of those guys is still not.
Not doing anything. But the other guy is now starting to contribute. So, if it all clicks together, could they do something?
It's been a weird conference all year.
It's been a weird conference, and I can't say the answer's a definitive no. So here you have the pieces of guys. A team that's found a way to win in different ways, and just see where the train goes, how far it rides.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one, especially if we're talking about just potential.
Yeah,
it's wild that you called Joel Embiid an underrated storyline, considering the amount of attention and things he's gotten for the lack of actual NBA things he's done in his career, as far as taking a team far.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. I think that people just have written him off, and probably rightfully so. It's been years of underachieving.
Yeah.
But it's been a pretty unreal efficiency resurgence this year.
I want to say something, which is that I just realized I maybe reneged on my promise in the beginning of the year not to ever take the Sixers seriously. I don't know if this is me taking them seriously. I'm trying to justify myself against, I don't know, the haters,
All of our
haters, But,
okay, but I will say the one, prop I'll give to you and to me, because I said the same thing, is... Ooh, somebody called me. The one prop that I'll give to you and to me is, I don't think, and I speak for myself, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate Tyrese Maxey becoming one of like the guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where I thought his like ceiling was closer to like Tyler Hero, like spark plug,
Yeah.
a really good offensive player, bad on defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's been like MVP candidate level this year,
Yeah.
and I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and he sustained it too.
Yeah. So that changes their ceiling, obviously.
It does. It does. I still thought, like, fundamentally, the problem of paying two guys who are chronically injured all the time and are also kind of old, like, there's still that problem, but I don't know, like, you never know. The thing is just that they're not relying on this level of production from anyone. It's just kind of like they're relying on Tyrese Maxey, and then you take what you can get from the other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on the Sixers. Just like production by committee, basically. On whoever's feeling well that day.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. That's a great one. That's a great one to bring up. One question that I had for you, going back to the East, and it's kind of actually in the same vein. It really is a good transition from your previous one. And I had the Sixers written down here. I think there's still people who are sleeping on the Pistons. Like we think that they could be the champ. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out of the East. But they haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? Like they're a young team.
Yeah.
Of course, the like Knicks and Cavs are in there, but there's questions with those teams, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any other weird teams? And I had written down the Sixers, the Raptors, and the Heat. For different reasons, very different reasons. The Raptors because of their defense and Ingram shot making.
Yeah.
The Sixers because of what you just talked about, and the Heat because I'm not going to count out Eric Spoelstra until the fat lady sings, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you see any other maybe dark horses here that we're like sleeping on? Obviously, you already talked about the Sixers.
I talked about the Sixers. I can think of one more.
Shoot.
Which like we've kind of named half the conference at this point. But, like,
we can't be wrong if we talk about everybody.
Yeah, right. I would say my favorite kind of slept on team would be the Celtics, who are the 3 seed right now. But everyone's still sleeping on them because it was one of my questions like to preview the season is what happens with Jason Tatum, and now it looks like he's gonna. It's looking like he's gonna focus on next year, not gonna try to push it for this year. It looks like that.
Oh, yeah. I thought I saw a report that he might come back in that like Sixers game or whatever.
He
Did he say anything?
No. I was saying it was. No. Tatum. I don't think Tatum's close.
Oh wow. Okay.
It like just the messaging. He kind of talked about how he's going to prioritize long term health. You know, it just kind of reading the tea leaves and like. Stuff like that. Whereas before, the posturing, the messaging was very aggressive. Like, I'm going to try to get back. I'm going to try to do these things. Now we're here. We're closer to that time where you get a better sense of where you're at in the recovery process. And he's sending these kinds of messages where it's like, I'm not going to risk it all because my long-term health is still important for me. For
reading the tea leaves.
Reading the tea leaves, like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like I would, if I had to bet on it, I would say he's probably not going to come back. But this team did trade for Nikola Vucevic, so like it looks like they are making moves. I've liked a lot of this team so far. Jaylen Brown has been great. Talked about some of their guys. I talked about Jordan Walsh at some point.
Hugo
Gonzalez, who's one of those rookies where he's making a big impact. He's a really, really promising guy. He's making a great impact on the defensive side. And then I think in Vucevic, you get an element that you never really had before. And I thought the trade was interesting because Boston, to me, did a good job of making up for their loss of bigs just by committee. Keita, I think, has played pretty well this year. But Vooch adds an element to that rotation that they didn't have before.
Especially on offense.
Yeah, and then defensively, they're really good. So I'm not like, okay, yeah, he's not great defensively, but also maybe if you get enough defensive guys, wing stoppers. It can account for that. Where if you need that scoring punch from Vucevic, like that's just a tool that you can go to.
Yeah,
and I trust Missoula to manage all of that.
Yeah.
And so it's just enough pieces to be interesting, and you know that they like to play hard. You know that they're a little bit younger now. They play a little faster now. So they're an interesting team for me.
Yeah. It almost like blows my mind how good the Celtics infrastructure is, man.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about Sam Presti in NBA circles kind of nonstop for the last year, but holy moly, Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, like whoever they have up there, like I don't know why. It feels like if they can just get guys, drop them in, and they'll be performing at this level. They're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It does not matter. And it's just ridiculous because you'd think it'd be easy if it's possible, but there's a lot of teams that never do it.
Right.
So yeah, the Celtics are definitely an underrated one because everyone thought that they shouldn't be contenders this year.
Yeah.
And people aren't talking about them enough. You're right. Yeah. So I had one or two more, but I really don't want to talk about them.
Okay.
So I wanted to jump over. Did you have any more?
No.
Okay, cool. We never talk about how many we do, but we always kind of like...
Yeah. I'm always just kind of like shoot for this. Sometimes I'll like, these are my safety nets. Like, just in case I have to talk about a team, I'll talk about this one. But we always kind of end up with the same number.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Imagine one day like somebody took over the podcast. You have like 15 different teams you like to talk about. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was like a bit of a dive into this rookie class, not the upcoming one, which obviously we talked about.
Yeah.
Miscommunicated a little more as far as preparing goes. But I wanted to talk about the one that just came into the league. And the like gears really started turning when I was watching the Knipple versus Flag game.
Yeah.
And I've seen a good bit of Flag this year, and I was a little like I didn't know what his like true ceiling was going to be this year.
Yeah.
But it really has reminded me a little bit of Ant's rookie year, where he started out with there was a lot of questions, and like obviously the potential was there.
Yeah.
But people were like rightfully worried after a few months. It's like he's playing out of position. Like is this going to be bad for his development? Like people had all sorts of questions.
Yeah.
And now you watch him, now that he's got his legs under him and he realizes I can jump higher.
Yeah.
I can like reach further. I like want it more than like 90% of the guys I'm playing against.
Yeah.
I'm just better. And I'm like, whatever, 19 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And watching him like realize that this young has been like something special. So, but we all knew that about Cooper Flag, that potential was there.
Yeah.
The guy we didn't know it about was Con Knipple.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen a rookie shoot like this in a really long time. And I don't want to bring up the guys I want to compare him to because that's like hallowed ground.
Like statistically, we haven't. Like this.
Ever. Isn't it like the best rookie shooting season ever?
So far, yes.
Holy moly. Yeah. I mean, to say that about a guy this young who like we didn't even anticipate him being this level. Yeah. Like he was creeping up the draft boards. I still remember he was around like the like 7 to 10 range.
Yeah.
And then the Hornets obviously made a brilliant pick. Yeah. But I remember when we talked about in our rookie pod, or talking about teams that were outside of the playoff range, we mentioned that like the Hornets have a lot of really good pieces, but they're still looking for that star.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to call him a capital S like star, but from what we've seen, I haven't seen a rookie shoot like this like since like Steph.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring it up, but I feel like we kind of have to.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're different players, but for sure, like just in terms of the numbers, no, it's fair, it's warranted. I really just didn't see it with Knipple. Like I'm not saying I thought he would be bad, but like I didn't see this.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
I thought it was like a Corey Kispert kind of.
Yeah, like. But here's a guy who, like, here's another. Gosh dang it.
Football season's over. We have to keep
going. All right. Here's a person who played with Cooper Flag, who's, like, just obviously the flagship college basketball player. And he, like, lives off of that and the gravity, and he does catch and shoot stuff.
And it looked like it, too.
Yeah.
It looked like Flag was the guy, and Knipple was the next guy.
Yeah, right. And so, like, it's like, okay, I can see the case that this guy is a good NBA player. But this level of creation is absurd. I mean, I didn't think that he could get to the rim against NBA players to the extent that he does.
Yeah.
I love the shooting. It's translated even better than I thought it would. And I mean, we've had like great shooters. Like you see them just kind of. It takes a minute to get adjusted to the NBA, and Knippel's just like just taken off, and it's like, is he the best? Like coming out of the draft, like I wouldn't have said he's a better shooter than Reed Shepherd, right?
No, definitely.
Like coming out of the draft,
Yeah.
definitely not. But like we've seen him just start out so hot in a way that's just unique for young guys, and so. No, like he has that star potential that I just didn't really see because he was overshadowed by Flag.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just like the two guys at the top. Like part of the reason I wanted to do this exercise, and I did a little digging on this. I know it's still young, so these guys all have time to become busts and fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But outside of like maybe one guy in the top like 13, I kind of love the whole, like it was hard to go wrong in this draft.
Yeah.
And I'll just read it out like from the top. We had, I'm in a different year. Give me 1 sec.
I'm curious. Like, was the one you said outside of one guy? Was that a calculated one guy, or were you just like?
Oh no, it was a specific one guy. I'm still pretty skeptical about Malawach.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's a pretty classic NBA problem of like the high potential, really athletic big who doesn't actually ever translate, James Wiseman style.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm out on him, but he does. It's a little bit of a polar bear among the polar bear in the Sahara. But you have Flag, Harper, Edgecombe, Knippel, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears, Igor Demon, Colin Murray Boyles, Malawach, Cedric Coward, Noah Asenge, who we haven't seen much of him. He got hurt earlier in the year. And then Derek Queen. And but after that, it gets a little complicated. I mean, there's still good players after that.
Yeah.
But that, like, top 13, like, you have defensive anchors. You have, like, capital S superstars.
Yeah.
You have, like, incredible shooters. You have, like, flamethrower players, you know? You have, like, prototypical wings.
Yeah.
Like, this draft had everything.
Yeah.
And I knew this draft was going to be good, but I did not think it was going to be, like, I went back about 10 years. And as far as, like, consistent depth goes, I haven't seen a top 13 like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, for me to fully talk about it in that way, we have to see how some of these guys at the bottom of the draft develop. Because I think when you look back, there's always some of those guys where it's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize, I totally forgot he was picked that low. And he developed into, like, a really solid rotational guy, or maybe, like, a guy who's making $30 million a year, something like that. Which it's yet to be seen for this draft, but the top is really, really good. Jeremiah Fears,
Trey Johnson,
yeah, he's playing good ball. So, super excited about that. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I just wanted to go back because I did a little research, so
okay,
might as well throw it out.
Yeah.
I thought 2025, even though it was like weird, right? With there was no like number one prospect.
Yeah.
It was actually deeper than we remember. Like we had like guys.
Or 2024, you mean?
2024. Oh, 2024 was the year before. Yeah, you're right. 2024.
Yeah.
But 2024, even though it had like Reese Shea at the top, which obviously immediately knocks it out as far as being like an amazing draft class. But it had like Bazelas at 11, then Edie I think was 9, and then Klingon was 7. You know?
Yeah.
So it had some good guys late. 2021, I noticed the top 10 was like actually really solid. But number 11 was James Bouknight. Number 12 was Josh Primo. And number 13 was Chris Duarte. So as far as top 13 goes, it just like that one crashed. That crashed it for me.
Yeah.
And then 2018 obviously had some bonker stars with like SGA and Luka. But you can't forget that Bagley was whatever second.
Yeah.
Bamba was like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Kevin Knox was in the top 10. You know.
Yeah.
So as much as some of these drafts had like in the last 10 years, let's say, had a lot of superstar potential. I'm not saying this is the best draft class among that range.
Yeah.
But as far as like real consistent depth goes, I have just been like shocked at the level of some of these guys are playing at.
Yeah. I agree with that. I will say, like one of the reasons I asked about who your polar bear is,
I'm curious.
I'm not sold on Ace Bailey yet.
Oh yeah, yes. We should talk about
I could see him being like, you mentioned, these great drafts, but they have that one guy, Marvin Bagley, Kevin Knox, something like that. I'm not saying he will be that. I'm not making any proclamations on that.
Sure.
But I'm just, he's a tough shot maker, but I still see shot selection problems. I still see he's still so young. So and he plays for the Jazz, but
love losing. Right.
Right. And so I wouldn't say he's disappointed me this year, really.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm not ready to stamp him yet, and he was already such a polarizing prospect coming into the league. I don't feel like he's done enough to dispel some of those ideas surrounding him.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens to him in the future.
No, and you make a great point, and I should hold my horses a little bit, because with this draft, usually you have the benefit of hindsight. Now we have the benefit of not hindsight, where none of these guys have not developed yet. You know, it's pretty convenient for me to say in 3 years we could be Trey Johnson actually ended up being just 2026 Cam Thomas. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of these things that are convenient right now because the potential's still there.
Yeah.
But you're right. To really be able to analyze, we probably need another few years to say who turned out to be guys or not.
Yeah. But don't let that stop the content issue. I mean, I like talking about the young guys and monitoring them and, seeing where it goes.
Last note on that is, and we already talked about Flag and Knipple, but I didn't really do a deep dive on this. When was the last time that level of player came from the same team?
Oh, good question.
I remember that Villanova team was awesome, but I don't think any of them had the same potential as Flag did. With the Brunson, Bridges, whatever team.
And also, I think another question is, when were they ever doing it as rookies?
Yeah, true.
With the Nova team, they developed into guys, but I'm not obviously. I think when you're talking about rookie duos who are drafted high, I think of it was Zion and RJ Barrett, right?
Zion and RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish came out of that.
And Cam Reddish, right?
Yeah.
But then,
obviously, there's some complicated development questions.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they were lighting it up as rookies to this degree. I guess they were both drafted highly, so they meet some of the criteria for what you're looking for. But if you're looking for two guys who came out of the same college at the same time, they're both looking like stars. I don't know if you've seen that.
There was, of course, this is a bit cheating, but and I'm not trying to say these guys at the same level, but Ahmed and Asar, I suppose, came from the same team. Yeah. The other one is funny because it's we're talking about these guys it's some super unique situation. Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey came from the same team, and it was this year.
Oh, I forgot about that. I actually didn't even think about that at all.
Yeah. And I'm sure I can come up with more. Over the course of Duke's lifespan, we've had a lot of really. Wasn't Booker and Karl Anthony Towns were on the same team for a bit?
They were on the same team. I struggle to remember if they were the same draft.
Yeah, I don't think they were the same draft because were they?
I could look it up.
Because Cat went number 1 and Booker went later, so maybe they were.
Right.
SGA was at Kentucky, wasn't he?
He was Kentucky, yeah.
Maybe someone came there. I thought the Reed Shepherd Rob Dillingham combo was going to be fire, and then Dillingham, of course, has been pretty disappointing. And even Reed Shepherd hasn't played up to his potential, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's more duos that we're not thinking of.
Yeah.
But this one really has an opportunity to be special. It would be so much fun for the NBA narrative.
Yeah.
If these guys who were teammates become huge factors into our league.
Yeah.
So that'd be exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that's all I had. Anything else you got?
I want to talk about some of the trades.
Oh yeah. We never got to the trade deadline.
We haven't talked about. I guess we can. I mean, don't have that much time, but we can just talk about. We talked about the Cavs trade for Harden. We kind of talked about the Celtics trading for Vucevic. The other like main ones that I thought of were Pacers trading for Zubac, Wizards trading for AD.
Well, let's talk about that one really quick, especially the Zubac one.
Okay.
Because I think that matters with the landscape of the league winning, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll let you take it away.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So fully a move for next year. So not something that we need to spend so much time talking about it now, but the Pacers spent the year doing kind of the Celtics thing of centered by committee, and now they just decided like, let's just get our guy. Let's just get the franchise guy.
Yeah.
And I can say it's really, the price was steep. It's a lot. And man, the lottery's gonna be stressful. But I guess the security and confidence of like, okay, we got this guy.
Yeah, and he's a guy.
He is a guy. He is an absolute anchor for the front court, and he brings an element that we just haven't had on the team in a long time.
Yeah.
In terms also of rebounding.
Oh yeah.
This team,
which has been a weakness of the team.
Huge weakness of the team, and so you have rebounding, and then he's an amazing screener, and I think that he's going to get a lot of those opportunities in this offense. I think that the Pacers were talking about trying to get him playing out of the dunker spot and actually moving him maybe to the corner.
Oh, interesting.
We could
creating a little bit, or
so you swing to the corner. First of all, we always say this about any center, but if you can develop a 3-point shot, that'd always be nice. Even if you can't, though, swing to the corner, immediately dribble handoff, right?
Which is I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's middle name.
Yeah.
Tyrese dribble handoff.
Right.
Halliburton.
Yeah. Well, like Tyrese skip pass to the corner, you got Aaron Nesmith flying off for a dribble handoff, and the way he elevates off of that, like there's so many actions that you can run off of that. And Zubac is, I think, a crafty enough passer where you can build sets around that skill set. His touch around the rim is immaculate. So he brings an element to the team. And then obviously the defense, amazing guy, can hold his own against anyone.
Yeah.
Where before it'd be like, oh man, what in the world are we going to do against Karl Anthony Towns? If we match up against Joel Embiid, or we barbecue chicken, do we just have to, like, if he's healthy, are we just cooked? Like, stuff like that. Where now it's like, oh no, we got guys. Where I was always confident in our wing defense because we got Nesmith and Nembhard, and now I'm also similarly confident in our front court defense.
Yeah.
Because we got Siakam and then Zubac for the big guys. So,
yeah.
Huge fan of the fit, and it reminds me of the Siakam trade where it's like I was also kind of like, oh man, how is this fit gonna work exactly? Because Siakam brought such a different element to the team where it was like I'm not sure how exactly this works, because obviously he was always known as a great motor guy, and that was going to fit with the team. But I was like, is this going to mess up our flow on offense? Like we're really known for getting up and down the floor, not really an ISO team, really reliant on 3-point shooting. And at the time, I didn't know Siakam could be like a 38-40% 3-point shooter because he was a career like 34%, but his shot had really taken off at the time, and just the fit was so much better, and it added like a different element. So that's where like a case where you can add a guy that fits with your team identity without being like, you don't want to box yourself into like, this is a Pacers player, this is how a Pacers player plays, right?
Yeah.
And I see that similarly with Zubac, where it's like, okay, here's how he can play off of the stuff that we like to do, but also like the traditional thing is like, how does Zubac fit with the pace that we play, getting up and down the floor a bunch, but I think it's just like another element that we can get to. And ultimately, when you have a guy like Halliburton, you don't, like, it's just resulting in good guard play that elevates all those guys. So excited about that. Now, talking about the compensation, obviously Mathurin.
Does it hurt?
Does it hurt? Yeah, it does. It does a little bit. I expected it. But I'm a big fan of Mathurin, and I think he still has so much potential. I think the Clippers I hope that they like use him well, hold on to him well.
Yeah.
And that's another guy that maybe, I was talking with the Clippers as like a potential team. Maybe Mathurin takes off well with them.
Yeah, he didn't mention him at all.
He'll get opportunities with that. But then there's obviously the draft pick, which is like I've never seen a draft pick with this kind of protection. In the sense of like 10 to 32.
It was like they were trying to tell the NBA, oh, we're not necessarily taking it. We're not necessarily taking it.
Yeah. Well, you got like Kevin Pritchard on Twitter, like openly going, like talking with fans and stuff. Like he's been in the comments, like in conversations related to tanking, which is just like, who else is, or like conversations about the Zubac trade and like what the protections mean for like the team, where the team can go. And it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of openly talking about tanking in a way that the Pacers franchise never has. But to me, it just signals that there's a very clear 1-4 for the Pacers, and they don't view getting one of those guys that are in the next tier as worth holding out from a Zubac trade. Because if this is our championship window, we have to get this right now. And this is why you trade a guy like Mathurin, where it's like we had a couple years to. He's a good contributor, sure, but like we don't necessarily have the patience to wait for him to make that leap. We're trying to compete right now.
Yeah.
And I see kind of the same story with that, where we have a real need at center, and I don't think there's one of those guys in the draft in that range, and so. Like not like an immediate contributor, like a Derek Lively type of guy. I don't think there's that guy. That whoever that guy is, maybe he's great. It's not worth holding off from a move that really bolsters our potential title contention next year.
Yeah.
So, it came a long way for me to like get around to that, but those are kind of my initial thoughts, and I'm excited to see the on-court stuff and how it fits.
Yeah. You that was some great analysis. You clearly, as a Pacers fan, have like really thought this through.
Yeah.
The only I'll just add like some tiny things. One, I think a lot of even like hardcore NBA fans sometimes forget like Zubac was a defensive player of the year candidate last year. Like that's how good he's on defense. He's gotten better every single year, and he's not like Miles Turner where he like racks up stats and just is a really good like shot blocker.
Yeah.
He's a rim protector.
Yeah.
And that's something that, as you highlighted, the Pacers have not had.
Yeah.
And I like actually love what you like talked about with the Siakam coming to the Pacers. Is how it's gonna look. Like he plays a different style. Is it gonna work?
Yeah.
And the like thought that I have and why I think Kevin Pritchard did this is because there's not often guys in the NBA, and I would even say this about like superstars. When you get traded to the Pacers, you're not like becoming a Pacer. You get to play with Tyrese Haliburton. He's the identity, and he is the like core of that team. So when you get to play with a guy like that, like Toppin, change his style based on that. Even like Nembhard becoming so serious on defense. Like I don't think anyone knew how good of a defender he was, but he needs to do that because you're playing with a guy like Haliburton. Turner, like the dribble handoff, like he is like the core of that team, and the way that they play is built around him. And Zubac, I think, is going to fit in beautifully. He has great stamina. They're just going to teach him, and it's a joy to play with a guy like that. And if you can't like change your style, then I think that says more about you. And Zubac is not that kind of a selfish player.
Yeah, and he's definitely gonna have to do that. Like I think he already talked about how playing away out of the dunker spot and into like more of the corner type of area on the perimeter is going to be an adjustment for him, right?
Yeah,
and it certainly will be. But it's like, those are the kinds of adaptations that you make. And you're willing to do that because it works so well, and you get, it's not like a bad type of thing where you're adapting to the style of a guy who holds the ball for 20 seconds. Like you're doing it, but it ultimately pays off and it's fun. So it stretches you, but maybe in ways that if you're a winner, you like to be stretched like that. And that's biased commentary for me, but it's my commentary. So
yeah, love it. All right, what other trades did you want to hit?
Nothing super, like we can just maybe talk about it for a couple minutes.
Sure.
Wizards trading for AD kind of ends up being a wash. Yeah. Kind of like it's weird to talk about. I don't think he's gonna play for the rest of the year, right? So it's really like kind of more next year. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Wizards? Do you think they're going to try to be competitive?
I think why I actually really like what the Wizards have done is there's not a lot of paths to becoming better sometimes when there's this many teams tanking.
Yeah.
So what I think that their strategy is we're gonna take chances on potential. I'm not saying, I mean, AD, obviously we've seen the potential.
Yeah.
But they got him for almost like very little, like a highly protected pick or two.
Yeah.
That I think everyone thinks Dallas didn't get much back for that.
Yeah.
Even Trae Young, they got him at probably the lowest of his value. And what they did for Cam Whitmore. They got him for like 2 second-round picks or something?
Right, yeah.
So I'm not saying that any of these moves are going to really move the needle for them, but for what they gave up, they got a return that has the potential to balloon into something more.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I like what the Wizards are going to have done. I still think that they can and should honestly put these guys on ice when they can and just tank because they still don't have a guy yet. But at the very least, they have guys who they got at the lowest point of their trade value, and they can turn it's the paperclip to a house argument.
Yeah.
Where if you can keep trading and keep getting better value for little things, it adds up. The NBA is all about tiny margins where you improve.
Yeah. It's just I wonder what level of basketball do you see? I almost wonder you just kind of do whatever until Anthony Davis gets hurt, and then you shut it down and start taking is that the move? That's viable, sure. But they're a team with interesting pieces. I mean, Alex Sarr, I think is a pretty good player at this point, and he's going to continue on his development.
He can learn from AD.
Yeah, right. And also having a guy like Trae Young, I think is going to help him. And so there's interesting, I think, pieces. They still have other young guys that are developing, and so at a certain point, we've seen this time and time again. At a certain point, you take off, and it's just kind of a matter of when. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're gonna be anything, but I wonder if they try to do anything. I don't know. It's just interesting because seeing Anthony Davis just kind of waste away on the Wizards is sad, and no one really wants that. Anthony Davis doesn't want that, and if the Wizards don't want him to play, then they obviously don't really want that either.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just interesting because I hoped that Anthony Davis would go to a more interesting team. I thought, what if the Hawks make a swing for him? And they try to make
a team where he could really contribute.
A team where he can contribute
and win, maybe.
Yeah, but the Wizards aren't that, so we'll see what happens. But okay.
One that we should just touch on is Jared McCain went to the Thunder.
Yes, yeah. That's
I'm definitely upset about it. But I mean, I feel like everyone's talked about it. It's not anything new.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of potential, and the Thunder are already really good.
Yeah, Thunder are really good. Thunder have a lot of picks. Thunder are taking flyers on guys and buying low,
so low.
If you listen to Daryl Morey, it's selling high, which just classless. Honestly, I can't believe he said that.
Can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything.
Yeah. You really don't.
You're not a player. You're not Katie. You're a GM. It's terrible.
Yeah. But Thunder trade for McCain, I think it adds good firepower. They've really you've seen this Thunder team kind of struggle with that element because of how many injuries that they've had. And we kind of talked about how we've said this throughout the year that their biggest weakness would be that their creation is too top heavy. And we've seen AJ Mitchell come along, but Chet Holmgren is not a creator. No. Hartenstein kind of is, but he's not he's a center.
He's not on ball.
At the end of the day, he's a center, right? These are they lack some of that juice that I think McCain can hopefully for them provide. not I'm rooting for it anything, but
no.
The trade makes a ton of sense. So yeah, good pickup for them.
Yeah.
Last one that I think is worth mentioning is the Jazz trading for Jaren Jackson Jr.
I don't know how. Players that traded hands.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your read on the? I don't know if I want to ask you your read on the Jazz, but
here's what I will say. about the Jazz. Obviously, like they're like pretty shameless. It's hilarious that I'm like roasting the Jazz for tanking when we literally talked about us like being fine with tanking.
Yeah.
So I suppose on that point, like it's fine, but
there's good ways and bad ways. I don't know. Sitting out entire quarters is
for
just
years,
kinda,
literally years.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about the Jazz: Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Keontae George, Ace Bailey, baby.
Sure.
Who else? Isaiah Collier.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like even if you like don't look at like the depth, even like Colin Sexton, like I was like looking at the roster, I'm like, I kind of really like what they have going on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like similar to like what I was talking about the Wizards, where you think they're like not a good team, whatever. They probably aren't. But then like after a while, if you're collecting value and moving up on the value scale, at some point you look at your thing and you're like, this is kind of nice, you know? Are they going to win a championship anytime soon? I don't know. I don't think so. But I actually really like some pieces on their roster. So if they actually tried to win and like sold out for it, I think that they could like do well.
Yeah. I guess, well, so a couple questions. The first thing is that I've been trying to talk myself into, because I like thinking that, I like talking about teams that aren't talked about, and I like thinking that they can be something even when they just continually prove me wrong. So like I've been trying to talk myself into the Jazz for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But this is markedly different in the sense that they made an aggressive move to go get him. They traded multiple first-round picks for that. I guess one of my questions would be like, why do you really think they did that? Like, what's your opinion of Jaren Jackson Jr. and how he fits on that team? And then I also think that, like, do they trade Walker Kessler now? Or I don't even know what his situation's like.
I didn't even mention Walker Kessler.
Yeah. Like,
dang, that's a gargantuan lineup.
It is. The move just really baffled me.
Yeah.
I just don't really know. Because Jaren Jackson Jr. is not, like, that guy necessarily. No. He's a good player. But, like, they're a team that's collecting good players in the process of tanking and then just hoping that they get the great player that they can do something with.
Yeah. One note, and I feel like I probably only know this because I'm a Baylor guy, but Keontae George has been, like, actually good this year. Yeah. Not, like, a good stats bad team kind of player. Like, I'm not trying to say he's going to develop into any kind of star.
Yeah.
But seeing that development definitely makes me think, like, if you have an on-ball creator like that, a piece like Jaren Jackson Jr. makes a lot more sense. Like, think like John Moran style. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that could be an element of it.
Okay. That's an interesting idea. Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of Keontae George. I like his athleticism. But, yeah, it's still... Maybe when I see it, I'll understand the vision. It's just kind of something that baffled me at the time, but yeah.
Yeah. The only other one I wanted to note was Porzingis to the Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
And I if they'd gotten Giannis, I would have loved the move. Because you're like selling out for the next like 2 years. Yeah. Like we're talking about like we're gonna put all our like eggs into the hopeful basket, you know? Yeah. But the fact that they didn't get Giannis, I'm like, I don't know. Like, does he really move your ceiling? Like, no. He's, like, hasn't been healthy in, like, forever. Like, it's just, like, fine. That's the center, I guess.
That's the thing that I'm kind of about. I never really, like, I just didn't think they could swing a Giannis package, personally. But I don't know. The Warriors are just a team that's just been kind of languishing in mediocrity the last couple of years. It's sad to say, but, like, this is just kind of another one of those moves where you do it to make yourself a little more competitive.
Yeah, it's nice. You're 16 now.
Yeah,
good job.
Maybe it will. I don't know. I mean, the biggest question is Porzingis' health. He hasn't played all year. Like,
so it's been like this for years.
Yeah, and obviously whatever. He has some kind of. I don't remember exactly what it is.
I don't even think that anybody really knows what. Like, they just keep saying illness.
Yeah,
it might have like some like chronic disease. Or something
something like that. Yeah. It's kind of scary and concerning. Like I don't know, but it didn't really. I'm interested from a basketball standpoint to see how he fits with that team.
Sure.
To see if Steve Kerr uses him in an interesting way. and just kind of all that aspect of it, if he even sees the floor. But ultimately, yeah, it's not really something I would consider to be like a big needle mover in the league.
Yeah. No, I and that's why I like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of teams that did like little things in the hope that they would get Giannis.
Yeah.
And nobody did. And I guess kudos to the Bucks
for
playing around with all of our.
We're just gonna do this all again.
I know. I do not want to talk about Giannis. Yeah. I do not want to talk about it. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. So great. Anything else?
No, I think that's all. We got everything. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, another episode of the Give and Go podcast.
Yeah.